Have you ever wondered why you can memorize every word of Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Understand exactly what an asset is, yet your bank account still feels stuck. It's a frustrating reality for a lot of people trying to build wealth in 2026. They know the basic financial education principles, they've watched all the passive income tutorials, but that next level of true, staggering financial freedom feels like it's guarded by a locked door. Today, we're going to stop trying to pick that lock with basic advice. We are going to find the key. Because the truth about creating massive wealth isn't just about understanding interest rates or reading spreadsheets. It's about a specific, almost hidden psychological shift. A shift that isn't taught in business school. And to get it, we need to stop looking at what millionaires are doing and start examining the 3 rare transformational texts that billionaires actually reread. I remember talking to a guy named Elias a few years back. He was obsessed. He had Kiyosaki's books stacked high on his nightstand, highlighted every other line. He'd quit his 9-to-5 to start a small logistics company. He was working 18-hour days, pouring every dime back into the business, living off ramen. On paper, he was doing everything right. He owned a business, he had cash flow. But 2 years in, he was burned out, barely making ends meet, and his company was one bad month away from collapsing. He told me, "I don't get it. I'm following the blueprint. Why does it feel like I'm just renting my own life? Just like when I had a boss." Elias was trapped in the working harder fallacy. He understood the mechanics of wealth creation, but he was missing the system's mindset. He was trying to push a broken car up a hill instead of building an engine that would drive itself. That was when I realized the difference between those who make comfortable money and those who make world-changing money. Most personal finance advice is tactical. It's a how-to guide, how to save, how to invest in an index fund, how to negotiate a raise. This is useful, don't get me wrong. But tactical advice assumes you already know why you are doing it and how your own brain is going to sabotage you. Billionaires don't care about tactical advice. They pay other people to handle that. They are obsessed with mental models, systems thinking, and psychology. They understand that the single greatest barrier to wealth isn't the stock market or the tax code. It's the human mind. The architecture of your own thinking is what determines your ceiling. The first book that shatters the ceiling is something Warren Buffett has recommended countless times. It's not about how to pick a stock. In fact, if you're looking for a quick tip, this text will bore you to tears. But if you want to understand how the richest man in the world thinks, you have to read The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Buffett didn't just read this book. He internalized its core philosophy when he was 19 years old. It didn't teach him a formula for getting rich quick. It taught him a system for not getting poor slow. It installed a specific psychological framework, the idea of treating your investments as a partnership with a bipolar character called Mr. Market. Some days Mr. Market is euphoric and offers you an absurdly high price for your business. Other days he is depressed and offers you a pathetic low price. The system isn't about predicting his mood. It's about having the emotional control to ignore him when he's crazy and take advantage of him when he's desperate. It's a text on emotional temperament. It shifts your goal from beating the market to beating yourself. Elias, back in his logistics company, was reacting to every Mr. Market event in his life. A bad review, a flat tire, a slow week. He was letting the outside world manage his internal state. He needed a temperament, not a tactic. But even with emotional control, you still need a map. A way to see the terrain before you walk into an ambush. Most people approach their career or business linearly. You do X, you get Y. A billionaire looks at the world dynamically, as a series of interconnected loops. They look for leverage. And there is one biography that Jeff Bezos reportedly made his senior executives read. A story about a man who understood leverage better than almost anyone in history. The Sam Walton, Made in America. If you read this book looking for retail tactics, you miss the point. Bezos didn't read it to learn about supply chains. He read it to understand how Walton built a self-reinforcing engine. Walton wasn't just selling cheap goods. He was obsessed with one single loop. Lower prices lead to more customers, which leads to higher volume, which allows him to negotiate lower costs from suppliers, which allows him to lower prices even more. He was building a flywheel. When you see your life or business as a flywheel, you stop trying to do 20 different things to grow. You find the one loop that matters, and you pour all your energy into spinning that one wheel until it gets so much momentum that it starts spinning on its own. While Elias was trying to do everything: sales, logistics, customer service, repair, Jeff Bezos was focusing on one thing: customer obsession, fueling lower costs, fueling better selection, which fuels customer obsession. He was building an engine. Elias was pushing the car. But even with a perfect engine and a great temperament, there is one final, terrifying thing that stops most people from reaching true, staggering wealth. It's the feeling that it's all too complicated, too dangerous, and that the risk of losing it all isn't worth it. This is where the third billionaire favorite comes in. It's not a business book. It's not even from this century. Bill Gates has cited it as one of the most important books he's ever read. It's Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This is a 2,000-year-old diary of the most powerful man on earth, the Roman emperor, reminding himself every single morning that he is going to die, that most people are annoying, and that the only thing he actually controls is his own mind. When Gates was facing antitrust lawsuits that threatened to destroy Microsoft, he wasn't reading business strategy. He was reading Stoic philosophy. Billionaires face risks that would paralyze most people. They aren't fearless. They just have a system for managing fear. Aurelius taught them how to dissociate their self-worth from their net worth. He taught them that happiness isn't the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them calmly. He installed a psychology of resilience. He taught them that true wealth isn't what you have. It's who you are when you lose everything. This brings us back to Elias. I saw him again recently. His logistics company had collapsed, just like he feared. He was back working a 9-to-5, but he looked different, livelier. We got coffee, and he didn't talk about ramen or 18-hour days. He talked about a software idea he was developing in his spare time. He told me, "When my company failed, I thought my life was over. But then I realized I hadn't lost my knowledge. I hadn't lost my resilience. I had just lost a flywheel that wasn't designed very well." He said, "Kiyosaki taught me how to see assets. But these books, they taught me how to be the asset." Elias had stopped trying to pick the lock to the billionaire mind. He had finally built the key himself. And that is the true truth about these 3 books. They won't tell you which stock to buy in 2026 or what side hustle to start. They won't give you a blueprint. Instead, they do something infinitely more powerful. They install the architecture. They rebuild the foundation of your thinking from the ground up. They don't just teach you how to think about money. They teach you how to think. Period. And once your thinking is solid, engaging, resilient, and focused on systems, the wealth isn't a mystery anymore. It's just the logical consequence of who you have become. And that knowledge, that awareness, that's free.